Hi, this is Shelley Kraft, and welcome to SNN Live. We're coming to you from the New Orleans 2013 Investment Conference here in New Orleans at the Hilton. I have with me Richard Lackey of Global Food Exchange. It's a private company. Richard, welcome to SNN Live.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm honored to be here. Thanks for having me on.
It's good to have you. Let's get right into it. A food exchange. Tell me about it.
Well, the Global Food Exchange is essentially a market that brings together buyers and sellers that are interested in owning food as a commodity. Literally 40-foot containers of freeze-dried long-term food storage that's stored strategically around the world to be used either for the value of the food itself or for post-disaster relief.
Wow. I have to tell you, what a unique business. Do they have to be refrigerated?
That's a great question. Actually, it's freeze-dried and dehydrated, and it's stored in modestly temperature-controlled environments, so it doesn't need to be refrigerated, and it lasts for 25 to 50 years.
So how does it work? Who's your customer?
That's a great question. The customer typically is USAID, World Vision, FEMA, and other aid organizations that are assisting those in post-disaster situations.
So in other words, if there's a disaster in Jakarta, someone's going to call you. You're going to deploy the nearest port that's operable, or you're going to fly it in by helicopter, but all you do is give it to them to take, and it's reasonably fresh, I guess.
Correct. It maintains 100% of its nutritional value, and it's put in strategic locations so that it get to those places immediately, because the people without any food or water need it very promptly. And those organizations buy the food typically at a much lower price than they do through traditional markets, because we've planned ahead.
I've got a silly question. Do you also give them the container, or do they provide you the container and you provide the food?
That's actually a great question. We actually do provide a 40-foot ISO certified container. Many of those we actually have retrofit systems that go in, and after they're used and the food is taken out, they can take one of our retrofit systems and convert them into an aquaponics center.
Okay, this is interesting. So do you also work with water? Because I know water's got a situation that is almost interchangeable with food.
You're right. Water is arguably more valuable and more in need in a post-disaster situation even than food. And what we do there is we have industrial reverse osmosis systems, which are essentially just giant 40-foot containers that pump 100,000 gallons per day of filtered food, or filtered water, out. So they can take contaminated water out of a building or out of the ocean and convert it into drinkable water. And typically those are leased by the funds. They're leased to those facilities or municipalities that need them for 3 months, 6 months, a year, or what have you.
So let me get this straight, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm getting this. So disaster relief is a really big part of your business, whether it's water, whether it's food. I'm sure there's other global components that you're working on, from first aid on to everything. Now, where is it positioned? Let's say if it's a disaster in China, are you boots on the ground, feet, a storage facility in China? If something happens in Asia, I'm just trying to get the logistics.
That's a great question. Logistics is probably the biggest thing that we spend time on. And we have 58 locations identified around the world, and we're expanding from the United States out. So next year we'll be throughout Latin America, Europe, and expanding beginning into the Pacific, the Pan-Pacific region. But ideally things need to be within 12 to 24 hours of where they need to go. And obviously the closest items are sold first. But we as an exchange operate almost like a manufacturer. We sell our products at a fixed margin, so there's no gouging, to investment funds. So these investment funds actually buy the products, and then they make them available on the exchange for sale. And that's how it gets. And then by their purchasing and pushing it into different places with the assistance of USAID and World Vision and other groups, they're able to get geographically diversified.
What's your background?
A lot of times people wonder, why was I in this job or why I was in that job for years? Well, I spent 8 years in emergency medicine, and I've been doing disaster relief mission trips and medical mission teams for about 25 years. And I've never had enough food, never had clean water in a post-disaster situation. And in the past 20 years, I've managed hedge funds. So it literally brought together, it was God ordained that we would, this is why I was put here, is to bring together this grand inefficiency, is to resolve this problem. And about 2 million people every decade die in that first week or so because they don't have the proper supplies. This system literally fixes that problem.
And getting it there is dependent on whether or not they're getting aid to that location in the first place.
You're right. The investors in the funds take no capital risk. When the gates go up at the storage facility, USAID or World Vision or Catholic Charities or whomever has already paid for it. We lift it up, and then we can assist them in the distribution if they need. Most of those organizations have established logistics. Those that don't, or into areas that are very tough to get to, we do assist them through a secondary logistics company that we own.
This is a fascinating business model, I have to tell you. For more information, which website can we send people to find out about?
Well, the primary website is www.globalfoodexchange.org. That's the best place.
Ladies and gentlemen, go there. Go to this website and find out more. I'm Shelley Kraft. This is SNNLive. I have with me Richard Lackey of Global Food Exchange. It's a private company. We're together at the New Orleans 2013 Investment Conference right here in New Orleans. Thanks for coming on to SNNLive.
Thank you so much to have me. Appreciate it.